Hey everyone, I'm coming to you in the dark again for another episode of Super Megaforce Silver Lining Part 2. This episode starts with a previously on segment. Makes sense since this is the first two-parter, kinda. Only the second part is titled by part, though, for some reason. The Silver Ranger, Orion, explains to the Rangers that he comes from a planet called Andrasia. His planet was attacked by the Armada, and his family, friends, everything he knew was wiped out. The theme song comes in, and Orion is already included. Guess he's gonna join the team no problem. Hey, how come Robo Knight didn't get included in the first season's theme song? The Rangers take Orion to the command cave and find out that Tensu is fluent in Andrasian. Orion's flashback was all in English, which I guess was just for the audience's benefit? Given Power Rangers' age demographic, subtitles probably weren't considered. Tensu understanding an ally alien's language reminds me of Alpha 5 understanding Larago's language back in the Turbo movie. Orion tells Gosei about how he found his morpher. On his home planet, he was a miner and happened across the morpher and key encased in stone. He broke them out and received visions of Sixth Rangers when they were held together. When his world was decimated by the Armada, he discovered how to morph. He lived off the land in hiding and trained to one day fight back. He built a slingshot and damaged an Armada ship. He repaired it and tracked the Armada to Earth. The Rangers show Orion around. Emma and Gia take him out for new clothes and a haircut. Noah notices Orion's morpher has several buttons and wonders if he can access the powers of past Sixth Rangers. Up on the Armada ship, a new monster, Commander Asagain, arrives. Prince Vicar is busy pouting in his room, so Damaris takes charge and orders the monster to defeat the new Silver Ranger. The Rangers, along with Orion, go into battle. They morph into Samurai, and Orion successfully morphs into the Gold Samurai Ranger, no problem. Legendary mode takes a lot of energy, so they power down to Super Mega mode.
Legendary mode burns a lot of energy. We have to save our energy.
That's stupid.
They defeat Asagain, but Levira revives him with the Maximizer. In the command cave, Sixth Ranger keys appear. At least I think they just appeared. It's not clear if they've just appeared or if this is a retcon to pretend like they've always been there. Orion has unlocked the Q-Rex Megazord. For some reason, Orion gets sent a couple other keys. We see the future world from Time Force sending out the Q-Rex Megazord. The Rangers see it arrive in our time and immediately recognize it as the Q-Rex, even though it doesn't resemble the Q-Rex that belonged to Eric in the slightest. Actually, the Q-Rex probably wouldn't even be in the future. It's still with Eric as far as anyone knows. I'm assuming this is a new Q-Rex built by Time Force. I still don't know why the Megaforce Rangers would know what it is. Whatever. We see the purpose for the other keys. The Mighty Morphin Green key converts the Q-Rex into Dino mode. The White Dino Thunder key converts the Zord into Megazord mode. With the Q-Rex, he successfully defeats the monster. Later, the Rangers head to Ernie and find out Orion is working there. This episode's okay. Orion is a cool character. He acclimates pretty quickly, judging from his backstory. I guess that makes sense. He can adapt to just about any situation smoothly. He's still a bit of a blank slate, though. I'm curious to see how he grows and changes over the rest of the show. He was played by Cameron Jibo. He's still regularly acting in TV and film, just not with anything I'm super familiar with. My one problem with Orion is that he doesn't really stand out visually. I don't mean his ranger form, that's great, I mean himself. He gets his semi-long hair cut, and he loses the ripped-sleeved shirt. He gains a sleek silver jacket, at least. I kinda wish he had kept his longer hair. Also, we have yet another white guy. Technically, he's an alien that looks like a white guy, but whatever. I kind of wish we could get more Rangers with a little more diversity, or since he's an alien, why not give him some alien traits? Give him antenna, weird ears, green hair, something. In past seasons, aliens have usually had something to differentiate them from typical humans. The Equitians had the big heads, Andros had striped hair, Maya wore her jungle outfit, Trip had a gem on his forehead, Doggy was a blue scaly dog thing, and Taizan could liquefy his body into metal. Orion's backstory is all well made. The director, or whoever, did a good job of making the common New Zealand landscape look alien. Here's a very odd thing. Orion's name and backstory bear some similarity to a character from Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills. Yes, really. In the Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills episode, the Universal Hitchhiker, the titular heroes meet a hero like them from another planet. He reveals through flashback that he lost his former team in battle along with his home planet. The powers in this show are named after constellations. His powers?
Orion!
This hero Rick is quite a different character from Orion. Orion is happy-go-lucky, while Rick is disillusioned and cynical. Orion is determined to restore peace, but Rick is apathetic. When one of the Galactic Sentinels, the heroes, are wounded, Rick regains the drive to help and takes her place. Unlike Orion, Rick doesn't stay with the team after their initial team-up. Could Rick have been an influence on Orion? Possibly, though it's hard to know for sure. There's another Alien Fighters episode that shares its premise with a Megaforce episode, The Ghost Warrior. In that, someone poses as one of the Galactic Sentinels, similar to the Megaforce episode Stranger Ranger. Maybe a writer on Megaforce was a fan of this mostly forgotten show. Another possible namesake exists for Orion's home planet itself. Andrasia may have been named after the Power Rangers fan Andre Meadows' Black Nerd Comedy on YouTube. He was a member of the officially recognized fan group Power Force, so Saban was aware of him. The 6th Ranger terminology I have some problems with. Power Rangers doesn't use the term 6th Ranger much because the later members of the team aren't always the 6th. Tommy was a 6th. And a 7th, kinda, if you consider Green and White separate Rangers. Jason or Trey would be the 6th of Zeo. Turbos, I guess, would be the Phantom Ranger. The early seasons are kinda weird to classify since there was a lot of overlap with cast. In Space's 6th would be Zane, Lost Galaxy would be Magna Defender, Lightspeed would be Ryan, Time Force would be Eric, if we ignore Alex's role on the team. Wild Force would be Merrick. The Disney era is where the idea of what can be considered 6th Rangers becomes muddy. Ninja Storm starts with a red, blue, and yellow Ranger, then we get 2 more later, and then the 6th after that. I guess Cam would technically be the 6th, but Hunter and Blake feel separately special as well. Dino Thunder didn't even have 6 Rangers on the team, unless you count Trent's clone as a separate Ranger. Would that mean Orion can access the clone's power, but not Trent's? SPD is a big mess in trying to figure out who the 6th is. The A Squad doesn't have a 6th, they only have 5. B Squad has 5, and then Doggy joins later, and then Sam joins after Doggy, but Sam is the one on Orion's Morpher. Maybe Sam is the 6th on his future team, but then why isn't Doggy there? What about Cat or Nova Ranger? Mystic Force is kind of funny, since Nick would be the 6th. Udana is a Ranger, like it or not, from the start. Nick is the last of the team to activate his powers. Orion's Morpher has Solaris Knight on it. I remember fans back in the day debating whether or not Solaris Knight was a Ranger at all. Overdrive's 6th would be Taizon, that one's simple. Jungle Fury's 6th would be the Spirit Rangers? Okay, how would that work? Would Orion turn into something that looks like Juo the World from Juoger? That's not a bad idea. Maybe they could do that in the Prime comic. Orion is in that. He's a Pink Ranger, though, for some reason. Sure. RPM has Gem and Gemma, and we do see both of them in Orion's vision. So they're both 6ths? A mathematician would have an aneurysm trying to figure this out. And finally, Samurai's 6th is Antonio. Oh wait, Robo Knight is a 6th Ranger. So Orion himself is a 7th Ranger, what the f... Okay, to be fair, the Ranger helmets on Orion's Morpher are mostly 6ths. I just don't like the term 6th Ranger, especially when his Morpher blatantly excludes some actual 6th Rangers. Tommy gets included twice, yet no Phantom Ranger, Magna Defender, Titanium Ranger, Shadow Ranger, Udana, or the Spirit Rangers. And yeah, I know some of those were only Rangers over here, or weren't from Sentai, I know, but this isn't Sentai, this is Power Rangers. We have our own stories and characters separate from Sentai. I think more care should have gone into Orion's powers. This isn't something you can just transplant from one series to the other. Orion should have had stuff made for him that actually has relevance to Power Rangers. It was cool to see the future world of Time Force again. I would have liked to see that yellow Zord that would knock stuff through the time portal. The new Q-Rex is cool, but I wish we could have gotten some info about it. If any episode needed a legacy cameo, this one really needed a Time Force Ranger. Otherwise, how does Time Force of the future know what's going on? I guess because they're in the future. It's like the end of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, where they say hypothetically what they'll do in the future, and it just happens in the present. The monster of this episode, Asagane, is pretty boring. I'm not sure if his name means anything. He was voiced by Peter Feeney, who's done a few other monster voices. This is his last role on Power Rangers. Decent episode. Orion really gives it the edge it needed. I'm curious how he'll react to Robo Knight when he's found. So that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.
It's the Time Force Q-Rex! 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 It's the Time Force Q-Rex!
I know what that is!